Russo-Italiano sponsors Boxing Bros UK.
It's showtime!
Hello, everybody. This is Boxing Bros UK. I am the boss, Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew, the Boxing Brain. And
Yes.
Today's topic is Hamza Sheeraz versus Carlos Dames.
Oh dear. Where do we start?
Man.
I don't even know.
Right, I'll start.
Yeah, go for it. You fire away.
So he was staying on the outside, yeah, but he wasn't throwing. He was waiting for the perfect opening, the perfect counter punch. But if you're going to stay on the outside, if you don't like feinting and stuff, at least because it's like he doesn't really like feinting. I didn't see any feints. If you're going to stay on the outside, feint before you come in. Try and trick them a little bit, before you throw in. Because if you throw from your guard, you've got tells. And fighters know this. They study this. They watch your shoulders. As soon as your shoulder twitches a little bit, they know you're going to throw. That's why people do feints. So, and then if you are and when he was on the outside, when he did throw, he was throwing a single jab. It worked for a bit, but like when Adames figured you out and he was slipping under your jab, ducking under it, and then going in and hellacious hooks to your body, and then you're backing up and then staying on the outside and letting him jump in and unload on you because you're waiting for that perfect punch. And that's where he went wrong. And then on the inside, if you don't like fighting inside, why don't you tie him up? Why you just stood there like that with your arms, letting him hit you? Waiting until he stops. There was no
idea.
And all he needed to do was triple the jab. Obviously, Adams, his credit, he had excellent head movement, lateral movement, slipping, ducking, and every time he was taking risks. I don't know why Hamza Sheeraz didn't go double and triple the jab and aim for the chest and aim for the stomach. He's still throwing them single jabs, and it was just getting double it, triple it up. And if you land, throw right, it was a poor performance. And I think that it was a bit of a joke, to be honest, that it was a draw, because I had it 115, 113 again to Adams, and I think he clearly won that fight. For me, what was your take on it?
Oh, mate, all of what you said is true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know after that Frank Warren was saying he hurt his hand, and to be fair to Hamza Sheeraz, I saw a brief interview, and he said, "Look, yeah, I did, but I'm not using that as an excuse." So I'll say that right now. But I don't know. It's all. Look, it takes a lot of courage to step into a boxing ring, and as I'll always say that when people talk about bottle jobs and all the rest of it, and we like to have a bit of a laugh at it. Anyone who steps in that ring, he's stepping in the ring. It's his first world title shot. You know, he's a fan favourite. You know, the Saudis, you know, he's from there originally, isn't he? You know, there's a lot of pressure on him. So I'll give him, you know, there is some psychological pressures there, and I do want to kind of preface it with that. Yeah. But, mate, Chris, he looks scared to death in there, mate. He looks scared to death to throw.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought Austin Williams, who's a decent fighter, who's a pressure fighter, and he dealt with him. I don't know if he maybe, because Adames was like a 90s throwback fighter. It's like the reincarnation of Nigel Benn in there. I think he was just the way his lateral movement, he was swinging. I said, didn't I, in the preview, I said, I've only watched a bit of him. I looked at his record, spent a bit. He's not spent a long time at middleweight. I said, he's a bit tricky. He can punch a bit. He's got decent moves. I said, this could be a bit of a banana. I don't know what words I used, but I said it could be a banana skin. But we went with Sheeraz, you know, before be too big, too tall, too rangy, long. But he didn't use any of that to his advantage. I mean, Adames was slipping his jabs all night. Where was the adjustments? Right, I even saw Frank Warren, right, who knows the game, and he was going, bring it up
when he's coming in.
Bring it up. Like, nothing, no adjustments, no. Adames was just schooling him, mate. Like, let's be real. And how that was a draw, I mean, I was watching it with some casual boxing fans, and they were like, well, first of all, you know what it's like with casual fans. They were like, well, this is fun. After the Boatsy Smith fight, they were like, and the Cabiel fight, like, what is this shit? Like, what is you're telling me this guy? I was getting stick, Chris. Right? So you told me this guy's in because I was going, oh, he's one of the world's big. But they're like, we're not even doing anything. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
It's a bad day at the office.
I just a bad day. I mean, that was an absolute stinker. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't even know what else to say. It was so bad. But
to be fair, this is my only gripe. Yeah, if you've hurt your hand, your right hand, then and we've seen it loads of times. Lyndon Arthur, when he fought Yard in the first fight, hurt his hand. So what did he do? He jabbed his fucking head off. Eubank Jr.'s fought with a fucking it's happened loads of times. You hurt your hand, so you just jab the head off and you pretend to throw the right and you just keep throwing a jab, leading and then if you can land the right hand and you can take the pain, if you see a really good shot, then you have to throw it. You have to take it.
Yeah.
Like, going back to what we were talking about earlier with Gerard Anderson, like, what's wrong with these fighters? You're fucking fighters. My hand hurts. It hurts my hands. My hand hurts. Come on. You're in there. You're just fucking fight. That's what you are, like fighters. So
you wouldn't have had this in the fighters, would you, Chris? Like Michael Watson, Eubank, Nigel Benn, all of these guys, like Warriors, Frank Bruno. Like, I know he used to get a lot of stick, but he used to try. He had his retina dislodged by Mike Tyson. He didn't see him giving up. Like, I don't know if it's is it a kind of wider case of just how modern young people are? I don't know. I mean, one thing I would say is that Hamza, what is he, 24, 25? I think, unless there was any more you wanted to say, I think it was maybe a step too soon, and I think he needs to be built a little bit more. In shape, build confidence. I don't know if it was a confidence. I can't work out what happened, actually. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. It was a poor style for him and he struggled with the style. But as you said, Chris, like, he weren't letting his hands go. He weren't making adjustments. He just kept doing the same thing, just trying to pop that jab out and, keeping that high guard. Yeah, he wasn't. It was a very flat off performance, and I've just put it down to a really bad night, I guess.
Yeah, like for me, bad night at the office. He didn't, like you said before. He used just one set. I'm just going to pause it 1 second. Yeah, so he didn't use any of his attributes. His long arms. When someone's on the inside, what if you can't fight on the inside? He didn't tie him up. He didn't lean. He did nothing. And like you said, I don't think it was a step too soon. I just think he can. I think he can beat him, but he just didn't do what he needed to beat him. And like you say, he got scared and just like kind of bottled it a bit. And this was a cherry pick. This was a cherry pick gone wrong. Let's have it right, because he was mandatory for Yannick. He was mandatory for both, and he thought he was the easier one for a world title. And you come up stuck because you ain't even ready for world titles. I think they just overestimated his abilities. Or he froze under the pressure. Who knows? But I know Sheeraz is a great talent, and that's a fight he can definitely win. But he just didn't do what he was supposed to do to win it. What's next? What have you got next for Sheeraz first? What's next for Sheeraz?
Oh, what is next for Sheeraz? Yeah, I didn't give this too much thought before doing this video. I'm trying to sort of think who's out there.
I've got something written down if you want. Why you think?
I'd quite like a little bit of a British dust-up with Sheeraz. Maybe I think he needs a little bit of a what he will need. And Frank's very good at building fighters, and maybe it was just a bit of I think maybe it was a little bit of a step too soon, and partly a cherry pick gone wrong, underestimating him. Maybe a confidence-boosting fight with someone at sort of top 20, top 30. I'd quite like to see a little bit of a domestic dust-up. Like a Brad Pauls, a Denzel Bentley. That would be a good fight, Denzel Bentley. I don't know whether he'd fancy. I don't know if he'd fancy the Bentley fight. I think would Bentley be too sharp for him? Sorry, it's a terrible joke. He's Bentley's quick, isn't he? Quick, got a good jab. I don't know. That could be an interesting fight.
That would be an amazing fight, to be honest. That's a good
And
shout.
I think it would do, you know, putting your promoter's head on. I think domestically that would do well. You could promote that well. You know, that could probably do a small stadium somewhere if you get the promotion right.
Yeah.
If Hamza Sheeraz comes through that, which I think he will, I think he can then start stepping on the gas, building to a world title again. So that would how I would maybe try and build him. But what do you think? A different direction or?
I've got a few. I've got I've got a few things in. One of them is now I think about it, it's quite laughable. But apparently they're doing a boxer Queensbury 5v5 is on the cards. It's on the cards apparently. So I was thinking it's too early for Simpson, I think, but I think for him and Hamza Sheeraz and Simpson, because they're both same dimensions, I think, and obviously
why not?
It's easier when you're both the same height to have a tear up, you know? So a taller guy, it's harder for him to have a tear up kind of sometimes with the shorter guy. And obviously Hamza, because Simpson's so tall, Sheeraz is so tall, and Simpson he likes to take it to you. Like he lets his hands go.
Simpson got up to super mid now. Simpson's got up to super mid now, and he's super mid, isn't he?
Is he super middleweight? Oh well, forget that fight then. I thought he was middleweight.
So yeah. I think in the amateurs he was middleweight, but he's been. I think he's fought at light heavyweight as well. It's the thing with these tall, rangy guys at amateur, they. But that's the other thing I was going to say actually, Chris, with Sheeraz, like, because he's about 6'3", 6'4". He's very skinny for middleweight for me. I mean,
that might have been it as well. Like he's struggling at the weight. You don't know.
He looks tight. He looks tight for the weight. It's just, to my eyes and optics, I could be completely wrong. Yeah. To me, I kind of think maybe move him up to super middleweight, that allow him to eat a bit better. Do you know?
Yeah, maybe. But to be fair, he didn't go through the gears. Yeah, if he didn't go through the gears, he didn't really go through the gears. He didn't expend his energy, but he did look.
That's true, yeah.
My other ones, I thought, obviously, try and get the rematch. But obviously, if you're a champ and you get a draw, you keep your belt. So it doesn't he probably might not take the rematch unless there was a rematch clause. But only champions normally. But champions are the only ones who put rematch clauses in normally. And then my last fight that I think that he should go for, and that he can win, and it'll work in his favour. It'll be a shit fight, though. I'm telling you now, Alessandro Lara. It will be. But for his career, because Alessandro Lara is not a high pressure fighter or anything like that. He's similar to Hamza, like a thinking, tactical counter, waiting for the right opening. He's doing. So they'll have if he fought him because of Lara's age, and he's got the height and reach. I think he'll beat Lara just on youth. But I'm telling you now, him and Lara fighting is going to be a dog shit fight. It's going to be boring because of the style.
Yeah, that does make sense actually. I mean, for me,
he can win a belt though. That's the thing.
You're right. I do think he can beat Adames, but I think at the moment, I'm not sure mentally, psychologically. I think if that was an immediate rematch, my worry would be Adames would go in there with more confidence and feels he's got his number and might actually do even better. And then Sheeraz basically has got to be really on his game for that rematch. So I think the direction you're talking about, or the domestic route,
have the rematch.
Domestic idea I've got, or maybe going down the Lara route. But I do think he needs a little bit of. I don't like all these rebuild fights, but he's a young fighter. He's a young talent. I do think he needs a little bit of a maybe one or two boosting fights just to get his morale back up. And then, Lara, if he's still about. I mean, how old? Lara must be about 61 now. How old is he?
I think he's about. He's like 42, something like that, 41, 42.
Yeah, he looks all right in his last fight. I know he fought a very poor Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
but he looks all right. It's all right.
That's why when Eubank Jr. was supposed to be fighting Lara, everyone was laughing, saying he's going to beat you. Lara will beat you because he's been fighting at a good level, and his styles Like, he's a really, really talented technical boxer, and Eubank Jr. isn't. And if everyone was saying that, I think it was Eddie Hearn. He said, "Why is Eubank Jr. going to fight an old man who's going to beat him?"
That's a good fight. I know Frank Warren once. I know Frank Warren was talking about this to when they had that, when Chris Eubank Jr. was doing that presser and they was calling him a scumbag because apparently he did duck Hamza Sheeraz. What about if Chris Eubank Jr. beats Conor Benn in the summer? Hamza Sheeraz has a rebuild fight. What about sticking him in there with Chris Eubank Jr.? That'd do mad numbers. That'd do crazy.
But I'm telling you now, Eubank Jr. will never take that fight. You know,
no, I don't think he will.
He only takes high risk fights or big money fights.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he won't take it. You're right, but that would be a really good fight. Like the fans would, I think, would enjoy that. But
would love that fight. If Sheeraz had a belt, then Eubank might take it. But because he's got no belt, he's not going to fight Sheeraz. You know, like
he's multiple times Eubank Jr. now. Loads of interviews. Either belt or big money. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
you know. That's pretty much it. If you've got anything to add.
No, I just want to say, we're not trying to, we don't want to get on. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos already with my favourite YouTubers, all that calling him a bum and all the rest of it. And, I get why people do it. Listen, look, he is a talent. He had a really bad night at the office. The confidence weren't there clearly. There was something not right. Look, he can come again. He's a talented lad. He's with the right team around him. Take a bit of pressure off him, rebuild him a bit. He'll come again. I don't necessarily buy into this. Oh, he's been exposed. He's been exposed. I don't believe
it. Exposed when you didn't even let your hands go and show what you needed.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't say that. Give the guy a fucking chance, for fuck's sake. But for Adams, we've got for Adams. Next thing for him is unification. Fight Lara.
Absolutely.
Fight Yanibak. Because obviously, try and become undisputed. That's all he can really do now.
I'll tell you what he's done though, Chris. Another quick point. Adames has put himself on the one. Not a lot. I know because he picked up the Charlo vacated and he picked up the belt. Mandatory challenger against someone who wasn't great. But I tell you what, that performance has put him on the world. This is what Riyadh cards can do for you. Adames is now put himself in the public consciousness, so he'll get an opportunity now. So, unification for him. And I don't know, I can see him maybe potentially becoming a unified champion as well. He looks a good, solid, all-round fighter. So, good luck to him, really.
For me, I was really impressed with him. I love his head movement. Like you say, the guy was like Nigel Benn in there, like, woo, 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 bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Throwing them hooks, letting my hands go. He was a great performance.
90 throwback.
90 throwback fight. Great performance, great head movement. He took the risks. Like sometimes in boxing, you got to take risks, and he took the risks, and it paid off. Sometimes you get knocked out, but for some reason, Hamza didn't want to throw that uppercut, so he took the risk. He could have got counted, and he didn't get counted, and he just kept on. Someone keeps doing the same thing exactly, like because I know Hamza Sheeraz has got an IQ. He didn't. Everyone was telling him the uppercut, and he just didn't want to throw it. Maybe that's because his hand was hurting, but it's just one of them. But what more can you say? Eh?
Yeah, uppercuts leave you open as well, Chris. And I think if you're not a little bit gun shy in there for whatever reason, you throw that uppercut without, especially if you're not leading off that jab as well. Maybe just I don't know. Maybe felt he was going to leave himself open up. It's hard to know what was going. Only he knows what went on in there, Chris. I'd love to interview him.
Yeah, same. But so respect for both fighters. Well done, Carlos Adams. I hope I hope he unifies next, and I definitely thought he won that fight by 2 rounds easy.
Easily, if not more. I had him winning by about 4 or 5 rounds. So.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I think that's it from us. Boxing Bros UK.
Like and sub.
Like and subscribe. Bye.